Welcome back to Movies TV Mag. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mag. Yes, please smash the like button if you love me. Please love me. I'm desperate. This platform is dying a slow and painful death. Please subscribe if you're new and please have your say. A very, very warm welcome to Monday's edition of the DC Universe Daily at the beginning of a huge week for every single DC fan out there. CinemaCon has officially begun. A huge week for WB and DC. We should hear the rest of the slate for Gods and Monsters. There's already leaks about that slate coming out, but I think people are guessing a lot of things. One of those things is Animal Man. I mean, is this the direction James Gunn is going to go in right anyway? We'll see what they're actually going to do. A Mr. Terrific movie or streaming show is being rumoured, but it's the beginning of a huge week if you're a DC fan. We should be getting the rest of the Gods and Monsters slate, around 25 projects yet to be announced, and this weekend it's the beginning of SnyderCon 2. So as I say, it's the beginning of a huge week. On today's show, we're going to be talking about maybe Ana de Armas being James Gunn's Wonder Woman. Well, Anna has responded to these rumours. And a very interesting non-denial, if you ask me. And the very first announcement at CinemaCon has begun for DC because they've shown a poster for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So it looks like they won't be shelving this project after all. And we'll talk about that poster, which I'm not particularly that impressed with anyway. So Ana de Armas was asked if she's going to be James Gunn's brand spanking new Wonder Woman. This was her response. I think Gal Gadot's a great Wonder Woman. She should remain as Wonder Woman. Now, that's hardly a denial, is it now? Now, she's right. Gal Gadot is a great Wonder Woman. She should remain as Wonder Woman, but not if we're going to get a cringy cameo like we did in Shazam! Fury of the Gods with that horrible grin and that flirtation with Billy Batson. Shazam! It was horrible. If you love Gal's Wonder Woman in Batman vs Superman, the first Wonder Woman movie, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, you must have been as horrified as I was by that cameo. Her Wonder Woman has been damaged, just like Henry Cavill's Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman were damaged for eternity in Justice League. So, and, let's see what people make of, Ben Affleck's so-called final appearance as Batman in the Flash movie. How will you feel about it? I've seen the whole thing. I know what I think about it, but how will, the fans, perceive this appearance from Ben Affleck? Basically, Ben Affleck is shot and photographed beautifully as Batman and Bruce Wayne by Zack Snyder, as was Henry Cavill as Superman, as was Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And I just think that Warner Brothers, since those times, have tried to colour them up and change the aesthetic, which has really damaged those three actors in those three iconic roles. But let's talk about Ana de Armas's so-called denial. Well, it's not a denial, is it? She compliments Gal. She's cornered. What do you expect her to say? Now, Ana de Armas is a wonderful actor. Now, my opinion about Anna is that she's a really, really talented actor. The problem is, because she's so beautiful, everyone talks about her attractiveness. You get guys saying, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind her, instead of respecting her for her acting ability. And she is a brilliant international actor. She was sensational in Blonde. I'm a big fan of that movie. The only reason I watched it is because critics hated it. Because when critics hate something, then my rationale comes in and says, if these idiots who know nothing about movies hate something, it's going to be good. Surprise, surprise, I really enjoyed Blonde. So, is Ana de Armas going to be James Gunn's Wonder Woman? Don't forget, there's only one Paradise Lost Wonder Woman kind of centric streaming show on HBO Max announced so far for Gods and Monsters. Now, I predicted a long time ago when the rest of Gods and Monsters was announced, there would be a Wonder Woman movie announced and there will be a Green Lantern Corps movie announced. Let's wait and see. It's going to be a very interesting slate if it's announced on Tuesday. And if it is announced, we are going to go through every single project. And I'm going to tell you the truth of what I think about every single project and if I think it's the right direction. I have an idea of what he's going to do here, and I am a little bit concerned, but maybe I'm wrong and maybe the rumours are not true. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to see Mr. Terrific. There's nothing wrong with doing an Animal Man project, but these projects are not going to bring in the bacon. That's the problem. So, I love Ana de Armas. Yeah, look, in a perfect world, Gal Gadot would remain as Wonder Woman. Now, James Gunn has denied that he's removed Gal as Wonder Woman months ago. So we got to take him at his word, although he did say he was in negotiations for Ben Affleck to direct the DC Universe movie, but maybe it's a DC Elseworlds movie. Maybe that's still going to happen. Maybe we'll get an announcement tomorrow, Tuesday. Very exciting. I'm so hyped for all these WBDC announcements at CinemaCon. I can't wait to hear the reactions for the Flash movie. A huge week. This is the hugest week for DC and all of DC fans, including me, including you. I think it's the biggest week for us in many, many years because this is when they give us the full future. And maybe we'll find out more about Superman Legacy. Maybe a casting announcement or two. You never know. CinemaCon is the place where these studios convince cinema theatrical distributors that everything in the garden is rosy. Now, everything at Warner Brothers Discovery isn't rosy. It's unless you like those black roses that are slowly dying, right? So they're going to have to convince theatrical distributors that their plans for the future, I mean, imagine facing these distributors while you've decided to take Harry Potter away from movie theatres and trap him on HBO Max so you can do some, fake representation and inclusion. And we know it's fake because they don't actually employ anyone from outside the Golden Gates of Hollywood. But anyway, let's keep it positive. Let's hope beyond all hope that these future plans are good and the movies and the TV shows they've got planned for this new DC universe are exciting. Now, back to Ana de Armas. Now, I've had Ana de Armas in my mind to replace Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman for a long time. Not that I want Gal replaced. Let's be clear. I think Gal is sensational. Gal's a bit like Carrie Fisher. When I saw Carrie Fisher in, being directed by George Lucas, or, the guy who did Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, she always looked like she was a good actor. But when I saw her in other stuff, her acting didn't seem proficient enough because Carrie wasn't really the greatest of actors. But as Princess Leia, she worked. It's the same thing with Gal. When I've seen her away from Zack Snyder, she doesn't seem like a very good actor. So I can't wait to see her as the evil queen, worst casting ever, in this Snow White rewriting of history. I mean, this live action reboot. But when she's working for Zack as Wonder Woman, she seems like a really, really solid, good actor. And she's a great Wonder Woman. And in an ideal world, I'd like her to continue under the right circumstances. But we are not under the right circumstances because even though James Gunn months ago denied he's retired her and moving her on as Wonder Woman, I'm not hearing the compliments about Gal like he does around other people. I do suspect that Gal maybe, just maybe, not definitely, but maybe be done as Wonder Woman. And if she is, obviously, Ana de Armas would be perfect. Now, look, Ana de Armas, let's be clear, Ana de Armas isn't Gal Gadot. You know, Gal is perfect as Wonder Woman. Fucking perfect. She's an amazing Wonder Woman. She was amazing in BVS and the first Wonder Woman movie and Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. Perfect. And under Zack, she would continue to be perfect. Now, if you're part of the Sell Snyderverse to Netflix gang, you may be quite happy about her being retired as Wonder Woman in the DC universe, if in fact that's what happens. Because that means her, Henry and Ben, you know, and look, if Jason is retired, we're getting to Jason as well in a minute when we talk about that poster for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. But if all these actors are retired as these DC characters, then if we do get Snyderverse on Netflix, or if Snyderverse becomes a DC Elseworlds platform, then these actors can continue their roles where they belong with Zack Snyder. When someone casts people, they have a defined vision. The vision of Jason, the vision of Ben, the vision of Henry, the vision of Gal under Zack Snyder was beautiful. But when some of these other people have attempted to use these actors as these characters, it hasn't worked. To be fair to James Wan, I think he did a brilliant job with Jason Momoa in both films, because I've seen both films. I've seen a test screening of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And I don't think it's as bad a movie as other test screening audiences have seen. But to be fair, we all see different cuts, we all see different versions, so I'm not invalidating other people's opinions. I can only talk about what I experienced. And I liked this kind of road movie, this bromance between Patrick Wilson's Orm and Jason Momoa's Arthur Curry. It makes sense to go this direction after the first movie. We'll see what audiences make of it. So, if Gal Gadot is stepping down as Wonder Woman, clearly Ana de Armas would be perfect. Would Ana take the role? Of course she would, because she doesn't deny. She doesn't say she doesn't want the role. She hasn't said she hasn't taken the role. She said Gal Gadot is a great Wonder Woman, and I think she should remain in the role, as we all do, Ana. But here's the thing. This is how they're going to obviously play. I've made this prediction. It's going to be interesting. You know, clip this. Everyone clip this. I've said it before, so maybe you've clipped it before. Clip it. I don't give a shit. And say I'm this, that, and the other. I don't care what you say about me. Gal Gadot, this is my prediction, will announce she's stepping down as Wonder Woman. I don't know when she's going to do this. Then maybe a few weeks or a few months later, Ana de Armas or somebody else will be announced as the new Wonder Woman. I'm convinced that Gal won't continue as Wonder Woman. But we'll wait and see what happens. I don't think she will, by the way, because, yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. But if she doesn't continue as Wonder Woman, he's not going to publicly say he's fired her because she's a popular version of the character. So he hasn't said much about Gal's future. As I say, we're getting a Paradise Lost HBO Max, HBO produced streaming show. Should be interesting. I like that idea. Should be cool. It world builds for James Gunn's brand new Wonder Woman. So it's a good idea. There's nothing wrong with that. But we do need to see Wonder Woman. Now, we were promised by James and David Zaslav that Superman, Batman and Wonder Woman would be front and center. They would be holding this whole DC universe up. They would be holding it up while they introduce, by them holding it up and being front and center, they could introduce lesser graded DC characters. And that's absolutely fine because we want to see characters in live action we haven't seen in live action before. That's only fair. A lot of these DC characters with a huge fan base haven't been given the opportunities that Superman and Batman certainly have throughout the ages. And that's because Hollywood use Superman and Batman because they're the most popular and they bring in the most money. It's not rocket science. And, if you're complaining that it's always Superman and Batman, it's pretty obvious why it's always Superman and Batman. But we want to see the lesser characters given a chance as well, as they have done in Marvel Studios. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. It's all about the execution. So I love Ana de Armas, and I think she would be a great replacement for Gal Gadot. I think she would be an absolutely fantastic Wonder Woman. But the problem is when someone tries to paint the Mona Lisa who isn't Da Vinci. Was it Da Vinci who painted the Mona Lisa? Well, let's just pretend it was Da Vinci if it wasn't, right? Don't expect me to know everything, right? I mean, after all, I'm just an idiot on YouTube. I'm not exactly clever. So when somebody else tries to copy the Mona Lisa and it's not the original artist, it doesn't look the same. So Ana de Armas would be perfectly fine as Wonder Woman. But Gal Gadot, under Zack Snyder, has been the epitome of an icon as Wonder Woman. And like BVS, the Wonder Woman movie, and the Snyder Cut, she was brilliant. And I don't think anyone can come close to what Gal's achieved in those projects, in those movies, as Wonder Woman. But if she does step down because she's been told she's not going to be used anymore, and they basically said, look, you can say it's your decision, right? Then, it could be uncomfortable. She steps down as Wonder Woman in the DC universe, but then a few months later, she starts working with Zack Snyder, and a few years later, she works with Zack Snyder in his, Elseworlds or his Snyderverse on Netflix, whatever, right? It's a possibility. This is Hollywood, right? Sean Connery stepped down as James Bond, then did Never Say Never Again, an unofficial Bond movie, a Bond movie I don't particularly like. So anything's possible in this game. And I just feel that Ana de Armas's, response, and, the media are calling it a denial. I don't think, she's a great Wonder Woman, she should continue playing Wonder Woman, is exactly a denial, right? You can take it any way you want. It's Hollywood talk. She knows, right? Hollywood may seem like a big place, but ultimately it's a small town. People talk, bullshit walks. Ana de Armas could have easily said, I'm not going to play Wonder Woman. I haven't been approached to play Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. She didn't do that. Gal Gadot is a great Wonder Woman. I think she should continue playing Wonder Woman. Then Gal Gadot, let's say my prediction comes true, announces she's stepping down. Then she can get the role and she says, yeah, she was a great Wonder Woman. She made her decision and now I'm Wonder Woman. Easy, isn't it? I think she would make a great Wonder Woman. Look, Ana de Armas is the big trend around Hollywood. As I said before, they don't like outsiders. So Ana de Armas is getting every single female role out there right now. Anna's great. She's not political. She's not a feminist. She does her job and keeps her mouth shut. It's great. She's great. I like her. She's very talented. I wouldn't be against her playing Wonder Woman. I think she would be great in the role. But what we all really want is for Gal to remain in the role. But it may not be a possible situation. I think the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman situation is a very strange situation because apart from sharing a joke with an actor about Wonder Woman and, joining her franchise as Wonder Woman, there's not been much talk from Gal about Wonder Woman. Not since Patty Jenkins has confirmed that there will be no Wonder Woman 3. James Gunn quickly put a stop to that. What does that mean? What is the future of Wonder Woman in DC Universe? I'm hoping tomorrow at CinemaCon we find out, and I should be able to react to everything that's happened with DC and WB at CinemaCon on Wednesday. But I don't know how long CinemaCon goes on for, so not everything may be announced on Tuesday. It just may be, on Tuesday they may just be showing the Flash movie, but Tuesday could be WBDC day. So as I say, it's a huge week. If you're a Snyder fan, at the weekend we got SnyderCon 2, and this week we've got CinemaCon, and we're going to see a lot of revelation. So Ana de Armas could be the next Wonder Woman. That's how I'm seeing this. And if she is, there's nothing we can do about it, but I think she would be a very, very good choice. As I say, she isn't the perfect Wonder Woman like Gal Gadot is, but at the end of the day, these things happen in life. You get perfect castings, you get perfect people, and for some reason, when leaderships change, when new people take control, things change. James Gunn is trying to create a brand new DC universe. Well, kind of. It's more of an extension and a rebranding of the DC Extended Universe, the DCEU, rather than a total fresh reboot, which I think it should be. And we'll see if he gets away with it. So it remains to be seen if Gal Gadot is still Wonder Woman. But if she steps down, I'm sure Ana de Armas would be more than happy to step into her shoes. So this is the new poster from CinemaCon for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So let's take a look at it. I think some people are loving it. Some people think it's bland. I think it's a very, very bland poster. Where's Mira? Unsurprisingly, Mira isn't there. So they are doing some promotion for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which is very, very interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think about this poster. Look, Jason looks great. The background looks great. I just don't think it's compelling marketing, if you ask me. And that's just my opinion. So my prediction for CinemaCon is that they're going to show a clip or some footage from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I think it's going to be footage that you, the public, are not going to have. It won't be made available online. You never know. They may actually reveal a trailer that we see later on in the week online. That would be great. I would like that. And of course, we will react to anything that's made public online here on Movies TV Mad. We would have a trailer reaction or a footage reaction, whatever. But it could be that we don't get to see the footage of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, but they potentially will at CinemaCon. But that is my prediction, that they will show some Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom footage at CinemaCon. And they may even release another trailer for Blue Beetle, or at least some footage of Blue Beetle at CinemaCon as well. And they're going to show the Flash movie. But let's stay with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. This has been a very, very painful road to this film. It's a painful road, basically, mainly because of the Amber Heard situation. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't know much about Amber Heard. In terms of the Johnny Depp and Amber thing, I don't care. Channel 4 have made another documentary about them. I don't care about them. I don't want to take a side. From the outside looking in, he's an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic. He was off his head for most of their relationship. She didn't seem to behave in the right way. I think they're both as bad as each other. I never wanted to see Johnny's career get hurt because of it. And hopefully he can build that career up, because I love him as an actor. Now, I don't know much about Amber Heard, but I do know that James Wan magically made her a great Mira. She was a great Mira in the Snyder Cut and in Justice League and the first Aquaman movie. Now, I'm sure there were much better options than her, better actors, better people. Definitely there would have been, look, my mate Emilia Clarke, people really wanted her to do it. I think, look, she's obviously got good chemistry with Jason Momoa from her Game of Thrones days with Jason. I'm not sure. I don't want to upset you or anything, Em, but I don't think she would have been right personally for Mira, but that's just my opinion. We'll never know. Maybe we will. Maybe maybe James Gunn will reboot the Aquaman universe. We'll get into that very, very shortly. What is Aquaman's future? But certainly James Wan made her a great Mira in the first movie. And she's a great Mira in the second movie as well. I mean, she's not in it as much, but she's still in it for long enough to say, yeah, she's still a great Mira. What's my view of the situation? Clearly, the Amber Heard public perception isn't great. People are threatening to boycott the movie, but people threatened to boycott the Hogwarts Legacy game, and it made record-breaking money. So you can't always just react. Now, Walter Hamada tried to remove her from the project, citing bad chemistry. Clearly, that didn't work because legally she said, hang on a minute. Her lawyer said, our chemistry was great in the first movie. You used me in the first movie. You cast me in the first movie. Well, I don't think he cast her anyway. I think Zack Snyder cast her. So all of a sudden, my chemistry is bad. So he wasn't able to get rid of her. We heard all of this because Walter Hamada actually did testify at this trial, this legal proceeding last year. Or was it earlier this year? I can't even remember. And so they tried to get rid of her. So they're stuck with her. She's going to be in this movie. I personally, I'm a very forgiving person. I don't have to forgive Amber Heard because she hasn't done anything to me. That's up to Johnny Depp. But at the end of the day, her and Johnny seem to be moving on at long last. I think, she's made a deal with Johnny, so there's no more appeals or anything like that, which is great. But she has been the painful, damaging factor for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It's a bit like Ezra Miller and the Flash movie. The situation is what it is. We are stuck with Ezra in the Flash movie. We are stuck with Amber in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It doesn't bother me. But we're going to see her in the movie. You're going to see her in the movie whether you like it or not. And we'll see how that movie does. Don't forget, a DC Extended Universe movie hasn't made money for 5 movies, right? 5 movies have flopped back to back. You're only as good as your last game. And the DCEU is basically at the bottom of the superhero league, bottom of the Premier League. So they really need a win. They need wins desperately. With the Flash movie, that's one they believe they will get a huge win from. We will see. Blue Beetle, they're semi-confident about that. That could go either way, especially with that trailer and that whole Batman is a fascist thing, which was a dumb thing to do. And I've heard Warner Brothers want to cut that from the movie. We'll see what happens there. Very, very interesting. And then Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. That film has been very expensive. But there's also a rumor that Jason Momoa's future in the new DC universe will be announced. Now, there's a lot of people who believe that Jason Momoa is done as Aquaman. Now, that's a very, very interesting situation. Now, according to Jason Momoa, he is nowhere near done as Aquaman, and he will continue to play Aquaman in the DC universe. His words, not mine. But he's also said that doesn't mean he can't play other characters or another character in DC universe. So that's a very, very interesting situation. So we may hear something about Jason Momoa's future, about a rumor that we've heard so many times about him playing a certain other character in the new DC universe. So we will see. It's something that Jason Momoa has heavily hinted. It's something that even James Gunn hinted a little bit. So we will see if that happens. But just like these other DC movies, something tells me if Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is a flop, then I can't see the situation where, Jason Momoa continues in that role. Because at the end of the day, it is a business. It is about money. That's the reason these comic book movies exist. Comic book movies mainly exist for money because they're huge IPs. This is where we are today. When Star Wars was invented in 1977, or a couple of years before when George was making it, of course George created something that he believed could make money, but he never thought it would be as huge as it was. But it was a passion project. George Lucas didn't just wake up and invent Star Wars. He was one of Joseph Campbell's. Joseph Campbell was a legend. He was one of his best students. He brought Joseph Campbell into the process of making Star Wars. So this is the difference between old Hollywood and new Hollywood. But today it's all about money, money, money. But they have to understand, to make money, you have to give the audience something. You have to entertain us. You have to compel us. You have to start giving us great movies. So, as I say, it's a huge week to be a DC fan, and I think we should find out what's going on with Jason Momoa's future. I don't expect to be told at CinemaCon whether Jason Momoa will continue as Aquaman, because they're playing this wait and see to the box office game. You know, this is not what happens at Marvel Studios. At Marvel Studios, there's a plan, they stick by it. Whatever happens, it doesn't matter about box office, they will do what they plan to do. They may change it, one or two things, but once he announces a slate, Faye, the slate is the thing, and it doesn't change. Now, in the past, we've seen at DC, the slate means nothing. We were going to get a Cyborg movie. Where is it? We were going to get a Flash movie years ago. Where was it? They just delayed those projects. And so we are where we are now. I do believe that Jason Momoa will play the character he's always wanted to play in Superman Legacy and beyond. And we all know who that character is. I don't think that necessarily means he's done as Aquaman. But if that latest movie, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, if the latest movie in the Aquaman series fails, then of course he will be done as Aquaman. This has been Monday's edition of the DC Universe Daily with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you again in the next video. Smash the like button if you love me. Subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.